Okie dokie, good morning. It is Monday, 6:40 a.m. I know, a little tardy. Well, I had to reboot. Anyways, 6:40 a.m. on Wall Street. It's time to get your macro on. Welcome to QuantBox Live, where we uncover the best fundamental opportunities across the global markets. Foot, FTSE, DAX, gold, oil, we got you. Commodities, currencies, we got you. My name is Wayne McDonald. I am the founder. I'm also a Harvard educated macroeconomist. I also have a master's degree in financial management. All of that means I love macroeconomics in particular when the focus is on trend trading. So I love being a market participant. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching it hours and hours and hours and hours late. Hey, why don't you swing on by quantbox.co and try a 1 week trial? It's not even $8. You might actually like it. You might even find it helpful. Look at all the pretty colors. Very, very attractive. So give it a test drive. With that being said, let's get on with it. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Wait, I have to do the radio voice. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Oh, that was good, huh? That was good. All right, let's log you in. See, I have to log into everything again. All right, there's the last one. Yep, cool. So, what is the date? It's the 19th already. Shut the back door. The 19th of June. By the way, it's a holiday. It's a holiday. Happy Father's Day, by the way. Okay. Yeah, that was yesterday. And then today is some sort of holiday. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm an entrepreneur, so I never really take holidays. So I get them all mixed up. But I do believe some of the markets are closed. I do believe the banks are closed. I think the bond market's closed. I think some of the commodities are half days. I don't know if the S&P 500 is open. Maybe it is, but maybe it's a half day. But all that being said, exclamation point. This is risky day because you're not going to have the same volume and volatility that you usually do. And that means your technical analysis may not behave the way that you expect. Once again, because the markets are thin. But let's get our macro on. Let's go into QB Pro. Oh, wow. Look at that. It logged me right in, which shows you I did have to reboot. So I'm only logged into one of my many Gmail accounts. Luckily, it's the one associated with QuantBox. Cool. So here he is on the cloud. Let's zoom. And holy smokes, huh? What a change of events. That red hot Japanese stock market is the worst performing asset class that we track. Holy smokes. But remember, it's relative. It's relative where it's terrible, but it's only 1%. Okay. It's not like down 5% or something. So everything else is meh, is the other way of looking at it, right? So we can zoom in a little bit closer if you want, and we can get rid of the indices. And you can see gold is down 0.4. Okay. USD Swissy, CAD Swissy, pound Swissy, they're all up between zero point 0.2 and 0.3. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. But that's what's happening. Everything over here is falling and should be falling. Everything up here is rising and should be rising. We're kind of like trying to look at patterns. Is it risk on? Is it risk off? By the way, would you like QuantBox to tell you if it was risk on or risk off? Would it be cool to just have a tool that analyzes all the different asset classes and say, looks like everything risk on is up right now. Maybe it's risk on. Right? Like it would say, stock market's up, gold is up, dollar's down, yen is down, must be risk on. Oh, you would like that? All right, cool, cool. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Don't get your hopes up, but it might happen. All right, cool. So, anywho, yen. Hmm. Okay. Aussie yen down, Kiwi yen down, Euro yen down, Swissy yen down, CAD yen up, USD yen up. What? Okay, so that's not good. Pound yen basically neutral. Can we discern any kind of logical pattern? Bitcoin down, oil down. Okay, that smells like risk off. CAD is strong versus Euro. CAD is strong versus Aussie, but it's weak versus US dollar. Huh. You know what? This screams be careful today. Okay. Be careful today. Although most things are performing somewhat as expected, there are some outliers, but not in a logical way. So this is sort of random, right? And of course, what you want to see statistically, and let me get my drawing tool here. What you prefer to see is some sort of linear projection. That's the most ideal, where a scatter plot in the most ideal situation looks like this. All the assets are like this. In fact, let me even redraw it. You want most of the assets to be at the extreme. Oops. Let me redraw that. I guess I can do undo. You want most of your assets, at the extremes and on that linear projection. Why? Well, because that means everything you thought would be down is down, and everything you thought would be up is up, and in fact, quite a bit down or quite a bit up. That would be the perfect world. If we were to like try to figure out the mean of this, what would what would it look like? And it feels like it's just this, doesn't it? So that shows lack of trend. If you put that on, maybe that helps. I don't know. Okay. Gold and oil down. Oops. Just look at the stock market. Mostly down today, huh? Trying to isolate the dollar. Okay. If if it's over here, it means it's falling. So pound dollar down, euro dollar down, Aussie dollar down, Kiwi dollar down, USD Swiss franc up, USD CAD up, USD yen up. So we must have some dollar strength. Hmm, Not a lot. Most of these are just slightly up. Dollars just slightly up. So anywho, how does that gel? Because that's now. How does that gel with the long term? Well, the reason you use the scatter plot is you basically can see this in seconds. I think what you want to do is see if any of these neutral assets become trendy again. What you might want to look at is like, I'll just pick USD, Aussie USD. Let's just pretend it was fundamentally mostly green, but technically red. That would show you that it's out of position and you want to watch it go from trend red. Well, no, it's obviously green. Um, the other way. But right now we don't really see that. Euro CAD is a good sell. Euro Aussie is a good sell. Okay. Euro pound is a good sell. Okay. And they're trending. This is the trend. It's trending, except for this one. Oh, okay. So you could see if that is going to be technically down today. Take a look at that a little more closely. Go into the pound buck. And so what it was saying is it's a sell, but currently it's going up. So you might want to just keep your eyes on this, especially if you don't change, right? Yeah, change. If you don't trade, if you don't trade today, at least maybe you could watch this and see what happens. Cool. Quick look at the economic news. Take a look at the calendar, see if anything's coming up. We have RBA meeting minutes coming up. Bank of Japan's coming up with their meeting minutes, but there's a meeting too. Or no, that was last week. That was Friday. Um, we have Bank of England out coming up too, don't we? Some housing building permits. Things like building permits don't seem like it's that important, but the interesting thing about them is they tell you what's going to happen in the future. Think about it. Someone has decided they want to build a building. Shoot, that might take 3 years. So they're thinking 3 years ahead and they feel confident enough to apply for a permit and start the project. If they're wrong, it's fantastic because they'll build it, but then they're wrong and there won't be any demand for this new project that they just sunk millions into. And you might be able to buy it for pennies on the dollar. So it works. Yeah, this inflation reading out of the UK, that's going to be, I mean, they're just suffering, right? 8.7, maybe dropping down to 8.5. Sure. So, anyways, I'll get this fixed. This is supposed to be a countdown timer. I understand it's broken. I just forgot to deal with it. I noticed on QuantBox retail, it's fine. So I'll figure that out. So, anyways, we got a busy week. Towards I think it's Thursday. Okay, um, Thursday we have some. I think it's Bank of England. Okay. So, anyways, another thing that you should probably be doing on a Monday morning or really over the weekend is taking a look at the changes in the smart money tracker. Now, the thing is, really, I want to see, we had important information come out on Wednesday and Thursday of last week. And we don't have that reflected in this data. And you're like, Wayne, why not? Why is it slow? Well, it's not us. This data is gathered on a Tuesday, released on a Friday. So now here it is Monday. But the important news, like the Fed, for example, and the way that institutional investors were positioned after the Fed hasn't been reported. That gets reported tomorrow to the government and then released publicly on Friday. Oh, Denise says Bank of England and Swiss National Bank on Thursday. Cool. Right on. Thank you. So, anyways, so we don't quite have that yet. But there, as of Tuesday of last week, a little less of the risk on. Okay. People still heavily short the S&P 500, and yet it's going up. Interesting, right? I think that's going to lead to an interesting summer and maybe a dramatically interesting fall. but it's a weird mix match, isn't it? Okay. People really want to own gold. And that starts to make more sense again where we have persistent inflation. It's just if the Fed is jacking up interest rates, that will kill the economy, which is disinflationary. And you don't need a hedge if the Fed is doing it for you. But um, nonetheless, if you think it's persistent, it might be something to own. Obviously, people are interested in it. Okay. So, anyways, kind of interesting shifts. But anyways, spend some time here. Let's follow up with what we did on the pound CAD. Okay, remember we said it has been going up, but it might turn around and head back down. We don't know if it will, but using technical analysis, guess what? This is a key price in which you might expect that to occur. Well, hell's bells. That's exactly what you're looking for. Technically, it's up. Quantitatively, QuantBox says, well, pound shouldn't really be this strong, but it is. So if you observe now using technical analysis, a reversal pattern, and probably not on a 4 hour, but let's go into a 15 or something. If you believe it's reversed, that's the key price. And you could, if you were going to be trading, start to look for a change in price action. And on a 15-minute chart, it looks like we have a fresh 2155 cross. So a down, 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 down like this would lead to an up, 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 up. And you would probably take, this would probably catch up by then. Okay. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's an if then. If you are bearish and QuantBox says, well, you could be. That's all. Could be. Remember, QuantBox is just doing quantitative analysis. It's just doing math. It's not saying, it's not doing behavioral finance. It's not saying the Great British Pound or the UK economy or the Bank of England needs to jack up interest rates to kill inflation. It's not thinking like that. It's doing quantitative analysis. It's just comparing two economies. The UK doesn't have a very good economy, so it says you might not want to own it. So the behavioral finance is that the Bank of England jacks up interest rates and it gets strong. And it has been. Meanwhile, the US is paused, which is not necessarily dollar strength. It's actually dollar weakness on the short run. So that's that. It's very up and it's logical based on behavioral finance. However, all trends come to an end. And if it did come to an end, that would be the logical price using technical analysis. So it's a if then, if the market is going to revert this way, then that would be the price you'd consider it. Then you do your technical analysis and you get your trade on. And because you have rationale and reasoning behind your trade, maybe you let your winners run. Cool. So I'll leave you to it. Don't overtrade today. Okay. Thin markets, low volatility increases your risk, and risk is bad. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I'll see you when I see you.